Hi, this is Carl the Cobra Frutch, and you're watching Lights Out.
This is Faisal for Lights Out, proudly sponsored by Spartans Law. I'm here down in Bolton at the Elite Boxing Club, and I'm delighted to be joined by Mickey Ellison. Mickey, good afternoon, good evening, how you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yourself? Yeah, good.
I'm very well, thank you for asking. Do you know what, right? I remember once upon a time I was speaking to Peter Fury. He said to me that when you go inside a gym, if it hasn't got that smell of a gym, fighters ain't working hard enough. I think I must have got to like the second floor of walking up here, and I could smell it far off. So, yeah, definitely an iconic gym. I've seen the photos. I've heard a few stories. Firstly, talk to me, Mickey. How long have you been here for? How long have you been training down here?
I should have smelt it last week.
I don't think I wanted to.
But I've been here probably. Well, I bet it's getting on 8-9 years. Really, had a bit of a break in between, but yeah, probably 8-9 years I imagine now. So from being an amateur and then turned pro, went away for a bit and then come back, learning more than ever, soaking it all in, and hopefully can keep moving forward and get some big fights.
Yeah, I mean record is 14-4. Yeah. You've held a belt as well, which is good. Hopefully, potentially, there's big things out there for you. Last fight was end of 2022 by my record. Yeah, what's the reason behind the inactivity, Mickey?
Well, to begin with, they wanted a rematch, which I didn't think did anything for my career, moving me forward, so I didn't want to do that. But then it looked like there was no way out of it, so in the end I agreed to it, and then they ended up pulling out. I think they were too busy, they had too many big fights in the gym with Liam Smith, Callum Smith, Taylor, so they didn't have time to train him, so that one fell apart. A couple of others, I said yeah to, and then through other reasons, not myself, they never come through. So I've been in the gym, so it's not been any time lost really. I'm just ticking away, improving on things, and it'll probably be a blessing in disguise when I do fight. Yeah,
well, hopefully your next fight comes as quick as possible. It's good to obviously be active, be in and out of the ring for quite a while now, but hopefully that inactivity rubs off and you are back in the ring sooner rather than later. One of the most touching things about yourself is you're part of just picking this back up with Mickey Ellison. You're part of a division that domestically, right, is very exciting. Obviously, we've got a bit of news about a potential fight between Azeez and Josh Buatsi.
Yeah,
that's a fight that...
If there's any dropouts there, ring me first. I'll love to step up and test myself against them and give it a good do, which I believe, I'd fancy either one of them, to be honest.
Fair enough. Well, before we talk about potential fights you might see yourself in, Buatsi Azeez, a very, very good fight, a fight that a lot of people are getting excited about. Both undefeated, both considered the future of the division. Break that fight down for us, Mickey. How's that fight end?
I fancy Azeez there, to be honest, especially going off Buatsi's last performance. I think he looked a bit flat. But whether it was down to a bit of inactivity from himself as well, but he's a bit of a banger as well, so it probably could go either way. But I do think Azeez is improving and proving people wrong, so I'd probably fancy him for that one.
Okay. Again, more exciting fights in that division, and one of them is definitely got to be Callum Smith and Beterbiev. Beterbiev's just been on a one-man wrecking crew. He's just getting past everybody. But do you think Callum Smith may have found him at the right time, Mickey?
Yeah, I think so. He's knocking on a bit. I think it's how much the Canelo fight took out of Callum Smith. I know he had a camp before, then didn't end up fighting, so he'll had a lot of time to work on specific things and what have you. But I think Beterbiev really is just. He looks like a physically strong man, doesn't he? And I think as long as he's in the fight, he's got detonating power that can change anything all the way through. But then again, I think Smith has that as well, so it could be I think Smith's probably got a better jab, and if he can keep the range and keep the distance with him. He could even win by a knockout himself, because I know he's a big puncher.
I mean, every time Beterbiev's come up against a British fighter, I mean, we look at Callum Johnson, managed to put him down. Yeah. Anthony Yarde gave a good account of himself. Callum Smith, former world champion, won the Muhammad Ali tournament in his super middleweight days. Stylistically, do you think that Callum Smith needs to look at this fight and think he can't rely on taking it as far as possible in terms of a points decision? Do you think his game plan should be to perhaps maybe stop it inside the distance?
If it's there and it comes, then yeah, obviously you don't get paid for overtime. And I think Smith's good with his counters, especially his left hook, and Beterbiev's aggressive. So I don't know what the game plan would be, but I'd be probably, if I was Smith, I'd be looking to catch him on the way in. And if he does hurt him, he can get him out of there. But yeah, it all depends on the night how they both perform, because they both got the ability to beat one another. It's just how it goes on the night, I'd say.
Moving back to you, domestically wise, it's a fantastic division. Yeah. Lyndon Arthur, Anthony Yarde, Buatsi, Azeez. There's potentially some very good fights to look forward to. In the past, has it ever come across where you've looked to fight these fighters, the Buatsis, the Azeez, the Yardes, the Lyndon Arthurs, and these fights that you've chased in the past, and these fights that you're going to be looking to sort of get yourself into a position to at some point?
To be perfectly honest, there are always people that I've looked up to in a way and thought, I wouldn't mind being as good as them. But I'll tell you now, if I got the chance to fight, no disrespect to any of them, but I'd love nothing more than to get in there and give it a crack against anyone above me, really. I just want to test myself, and if I go in there against them and I'm not good enough, then at least I've given it a do, and know my level kind of thing. So I'd love the opportunity to fight any of the big names. Yeah. Okay,
Mickey, before I let you go, where can the viewers find you on social media, and what does the rest of 2023 hold for Mickey Ellison?
I'm a bit inactive on it, to be honest. I'm busy, but it's on Instagram at Mickey Ellison. That's about it, really. I think I'm not.
You ain't got an OnlyFans account or anything?
No, I've not got one of them.
Top man. Well, Mickey, thank you very much for your time, mate. Really appreciate you taking the time out to speak to us. We wish you the best of luck going forward. And once again, thank you for talking to Lights Out.
Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.